All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to Diabetes Talk. I'm your host, Charlie O'Connell. We are broadcasting live and direct from the GLUCOSEZONE studio right here in New Haven, Connecticut. I'm so happy to be here with you tonight. We just had an awesome workout. Guys, if you haven't joined us yet for one of our live GLUCOSEZONE workouts, okay, join us every Tuesday at 6:30, every Thursday at 6:30. We do a full exercise for diabetes workout, and then we come right back with Diabetes Talk, and these are a lot of fun. So I want to say what's up to DeLeslin, what's up to Claudette, what's up to Daisy, what's up to Sue722. Sue, I haven't forgotten about you, and we're going to be sending you some information very shortly. And guys, I want to encourage you, if there's something that we talk about on one of our talks, or if you've downloaded our app and you have a question about how your diabetes is responding to exercise, or if you need help or guidance about reaching your fitness goal, please reach out directly to us, guys. And let's go ahead and just put that actual information up, how people can get in touch with us if they have a question, okay? How they can reach out and basically connect with our digital coaches. Guys, we have a full really stable of diabetes and fitness professionals that are dedicated, truly passionate and dedicated people that are willing and able to help you reach your fitness goals, okay? And kick diabetes butt. All right, 9 Lives has joined us. JBC423 on Instagram. It is great to have you guys here. Marisol has joined us on Facebook. Guys, I am pumped up and excited about this particular talk, okay? Today we're going to be talking about springing into diabetes. And really what this is about, guys, is tomorrow morning is the first day of spring. You know, classic Murphy's Law, here in New England, we're expecting a foot of snow, but we're not going to let that stop us from actually being energized, being revitalized, and being ready and able to become active or more active, okay? And we're also going to talk about some very specific things related to things you want to be cautious with when it comes to getting active, all right? Now, having said that, we really had a lot of fun last Thursday with the Green Juice Diabetes Talk. And I want to encourage you guys, if you missed us last Thursday, go back and watch our Diabetes Talk on green juicing. We actually made the green juice on camera. We had some great conversations with global community of GLUCOSEZONE members around the world. And basically, it was a really fun episode. So if you haven't seen that episode, I want you to check it out. Okay. And of course, guys, we want to answer your questions today. So, the first thing we're going to talk about when it comes into springing into diabetes is being conscious and careful of something called neuropathy. All right? And we're really going to break down what is neuropathy. Okay? So, neuropathy is a condition that people living with diabetes are susceptible to, and basically what causes neuropathy is elevated blood sugar levels over an extended period of time, okay? And what neuropathy actually does is it damages the nerve endings in the peripheral parts of your body. So the peripheral parts of your body are basically your hands and your feet. And what the end result of that is a loss of sensation, a loss of feeling and sensation, okay? And here's why this is so important to be conscious of. If you start to lose sensation and feeling in your feet, okay, you may be susceptible to things like cuts, abrasions, swelling, okay, and other actual bad conditions that, if they go untreated, can turn into really serious complications. You also can lose your sense of heat, cold and heat, and that's one of the unfortunately, one of the actual worst case scenarios of a person suffering from neuropathy in the wintertime is they experience frostbite in their feet or their hands and they can't feel it and they don't feel it, and they end up really, really having a serious complication. Or the other side of that is getting into the bathtub or the shower and the water is too hot, okay, and you end up burning yourself. So peripheral neuropathy is a real thing. It's something that you really, really need to be conscious of, and the best way to actually be conscious and careful of neuropathy is to schedule an appointment with a podiatrist, okay? That is the number one thing, and for two reasons. Number one, you are having an expert examine your feet. And one of the things that's really hard about foot care is it's hard to see what's going on with your foot. It's just literally hard to see. So having an expert really examine your foot and look for small cuts, small abrasions, okay, swelling, dry skin, these are the things that you really, really want a professional actually examining your foot for, okay? And it's a sad thing when somebody suffers from that. So I'll give you an example of what basically the scenario is for neuropathy really, really causing damage to your body. So let's say that you're experiencing neuropathy, okay, and you lose some sensation in your foot, and you go to the beach. So let's say you're on spring break, okay, and you go down to the beach and you're walking around barefoot and you get a small cut on your toe, right? But because you're dealing with neuropathy issues, you don't feel that cut. And that cut goes untreated. And what happens is the cut goes from being a little cut to a festering sore. And if you have neuropathy, you may not even feel that. It can go from a festering sore to an infected wound. And what ends up happening is, all of a sudden, 3-4 weeks later, when you're back from your trip to the beach, you finally notice something wrong with your foot, and at that point, that wound has become a really, really serious problem, okay? And that is actually what leads to amputations more than anything else related to diabetes, is when you get a cut or an abrasion, okay? You don't feel it. The loss of sensation of feeling prevents you from addressing that issue when it's small, and then it becomes really, really big, and basically now you have a really serious problem, okay? So be conscious, guys, of your feet. Be conscious of peripheral neuropathy, okay? And basically be conscious of nerve damage. These are the things that can, if we're not conscious of them, can really, really slow us down, all right? Now, another thing that impacts a lot of people living with diabetes is something called peripheral neuropathy combined with peripheral artery disease, okay? And what peripheral artery disease means is poor circulation in your legs due to the narrowing of the arteries, okay? Which is, people with diabetes are prone to that. The arteries narrow for a variety of reasons. It could be related to plaque, it could be related to cholesterol, it could be related to lack of aerobic stimulation and circulation, okay? When you then have elevated blood sugar levels, that makes you more prone to infection, and it makes it harder for your body to heal from wounds, okay? Poor circulation can lead to gangrene. What gangrene is a tissue death, which actually what that means is basically the tissue, that part of the body that's gone gangrene, okay, it occurs in a localized area, and the actual tissue dies from lack of blood supply or inadequate blood supply. All right. So, guys, these are really, really serious things. They all have to do with your feet. And if you are going to be taking that step to taking back control of your diabetes, if you are, finally looking outside and you're ready basically to start becoming active again, okay, or you're really, really ready to start taking your health seriously, your feet are in many ways they're like the lighthouse for you. Your feet will really, really tell you what your diabetic health is like, your feet and your teeth. Okay, now today's topic is really about foot health care, but we should actually do a whole nother topic on dental health care and how dental health care affects your diabetes. All right, now another one, okay, is basically if you experience any common foot issues. So I'm going to throw out some words that nobody likes to hear. They make you feel, they make you basically shudder. But basically, common foot problems are corns, calluses, blisters, ingrown toenails, foot fungus, athlete's foot, hammer toe, foot ulcers, plantar's warts, dry skin. Guys, all of those foot issues, okay, are exacerbated by diabetes. And if you are dealing with any one of those issues, you need to go see a podiatrist immediately. Okay, and don't delay, don't put it off, go see a podiatrist. All right? And you know what? And again, our team puts these diabetes talk topics together. They really have done an excellent job of painting the whole picture of foot care and tying it together as relates to the impact of chronic high blood sugar levels, what you actually need to be aware of, what the actual manifestation of chronic high blood glucose levels, what it can actually do to your feet, and what the consequences are. All right, now, we've got two really, really good questions, okay, that are coming through, one on Facebook and one from YouTube. So we're going to start off with Facebook. And Emma, I want to thank you for joining us on Facebook, okay? It's great to have you here. And Jean Brooks, I see you too on Facebook. So guys, what Emma asked is it normal to get tingling in both the feet and hands in cold weather, okay? I also have joint pain in my fingers during the winter. Is this normal to have this kind of condition, or is it linked to arthritis, or does it have something to do with type 2 diabetes? So that's a great question, Emma, and the tingling sensation can definitely be a sign and symptom of neuropathy, diabetic peripheral neuropathy, okay? So what I would recommend is you actually I appreciate you sharing this thing, because sometimes different conditions can be very similar. But I would separate out joint pain from a tingling sensation, right? Joint pain, I would, without knowing anything else about your condition, I would say, if you're experiencing joint pain, that sounds more arthritic, okay? But if you're experiencing a tingling sensation in both your hands and your feet, that could definitely be a sign or symptom of neuropathy. So what you need to do is, number one, use the tools that are there, that are available to you. And by those tools, I mean use Google, use the internet to really, really identify your symptoms and start to narrow down in your own mind what the cause of your symptoms could be. And then talk with your healthcare provider. Your healthcare provider is going to be able to immediately identify if this is an issue, okay, related to diabetic neuropathy, right? It's a great question, all right? Now, Claudette, okay, on YouTube just asked us a question about itching. So the itching feeling related, itching of the feet is basically how she described it. So here's the thing. Itching of the feet, that, excuse me, that could or could not be related to diabetes. So the way that you differentiate it is, do you have another existing skin condition? If you have another existing skin condition, then it may not be, okay? But if you don't have any other existing skin condition and you're consistently noticing an itching feeling, that could definitely potentially be related to diabetic neuropathy, okay? So it's a great question, and these are things, guys, that we need to explore. Now, getting back to our team's commentary on foot issues in general, and this is something that's really, really important, okay? 20 to 25% of all diabetes-related hospital admissions are due to foot issues, okay? So, and what's crazy is most foot issues are completely avoidable. So, guys, take this seriously. You want to take your foot condition seriously. You want to be checking the health of your feet frequently, all right? So, here are some things that you can do to prevent foot issues that are easy to do, okay? The first one is avoid soaking your feet, all right? That's a common mistake that people make. You don't want to be soaking your feet constantly, okay? You want to wash your feet daily with non-irritating soap, okay? You don't want to go crazy and be scrubbing your feet and your legs, but basically daily washing, okay, in warm water, but you don't want to be soaking your feet. Other thing is you want to be drying your feet completely. So that's a really, really big one. So when you get out of the shower or the bath or whatever, basically taking the time to use the towel to dry your foot in between those spaces in between your toes. And I'll share a little personal anecdote with that. I had a wake-up call with my feet about 10 years ago where I got a little cut inside the space between my pinky toe and my ring toe. And I was at the beach. I got this little cut, and I didn't even really pay any attention to it. And then all of a sudden, 6 months went by, and that cut still had not healed. And that was a huge, huge wake-up call for me about how important it was to address wounds like that immediately, and then also really scared me with my diabetes and really, really put me in tune with how important it was to keep my diabetes under control and very specifically avoid high blood sugar. Now, avoiding high blood sugar is much easier said than done, okay? But what I want to encourage you to do is do the things that you can be in control with, okay? And there are things that you can be in control of are basically, you can be in control of what you eat. You can be in control of, did you go to the gym or not? Did you get the workout in? Did you do GLUCOSEZONE? Okay? You can be in control of what you think. Now, what you think is extremely important, and positive thinking goes a long, long way. So everybody has moments of doubt. Everybody has negative thoughts that come into their mind. But I want to encourage you to be conscious of those moments when those negative thoughts spiral into negative behavior. And that's where you really want to separate it, okay? And negative behavior manifests itself in all different kinds of ways. Negative behavior can be behavior where you're depressed and you're withdrawn. Negative behavior can be behavior where you basically self-sabotage your progress, you self-sabotage opportunities, okay? You give in to basically short-term feelings of who cares, right? And the reality is you care. But diabetes is a hard thing that is always kind of coming at you. And what you need to do is really emotionally and mentally prepare yourself for being there, okay, in the fight with diabetes. And sometimes being in the fight with diabetes means literally just being aware of your feelings and your emotions. Okay, now, another one. These are some more interesting ones, okay? Some of these are related to other issues, but basically, first off, okay, if you smoke, stop smoking as soon as possible and at least cut down on the smoking. So smoking and diabetes just simply do not go together for a whole variety of different reasons, okay? Now, I'm speaking, okay, from experience. I smoked for 10 years. Why I did that, I don't know. When I look back on it now, I'm just like, wow. And when I see other people that are smoking, I'm like, wow. It really, really is shocking to me. But I was there. I was there for a long time, so I get it. So if you are a smoker and you have diabetes, it's time for a serious reality check, okay? And the first step in the reality check is admitting to yourself that you love smoking. That is number one first step. It's like anything else, guys. If you are dealing with something that is holding you back or is negatively impacting your life, the first step is usually acknowledging how much you're in love with that thing or how much you like that thing. And it's amazing what people will sacrifice. People will sacrifice their health, their relationships, money, opportunities for things that they love. And smoking definitely falls into that category. Drinking alcohol definitely falls into that category. Food definitely falls into that category. Things we consume, okay? We can fall in love with things that we consume for a variety of reasons. And the first step in letting go of that hold that thing has on you is admitting to yourself that you're in love with it. Okay? And that can be really, really hard, guys. So the first step is actually acknowledging it. Okay? All right. Now, we've got a couple comments on Instagram, so I want to acknowledge them. JBC423, I'm so happy to hear. You know what JBC423 just shared? He said, "You just inspired me. I'm going to book a podiatrist appointment tomorrow." That's what I'm talking about, okay? So, JBC423, I appreciate you sharing that. And now here's the thing. There is an incredible, how do I say this? Human behavior has something called the 5-second rule. And what the 5-second rule is related to idea to action. So if you have an idea in your head, okay, and you don't act on that idea within 5 seconds, usually the impulse goes away and you don't do it. And it's crazy. It relates to everything. It relates to getting up and going to the gym. It relates to smoking cigarettes. So when you have the urge to smoke, if you just literally wait 5 seconds, that impulse most likely will go away. okay? And it applies both ways. So if you have an idea, okay, you know what, I'm going to call the podiatrist. 5 seconds goes by and you don't actually take action to call the podiatrist or make an appointment, the chances that you do it are very, very slim to none, okay? So I want you to become aware of that issue of the 5-second rule. And if you have a thought in your head, whether it's positive or negative, the 5-second rule is always in place. So if you have a positive thought, I want you to act on it within 5 seconds, okay? If you have a thought, I need to get up right now. If you have a thought, I need to go to the gym, go to the gym right now, okay? If you have a negative thought, like, I want to smoke a cigarette, just wait 5 seconds. If you have a negative thought, like, you know what, I don't care about my meal plan, I just want to eat this hot dog, right? Just wait 5 seconds. You would be amazed at the consciousness of that impulse action, how it affects your ultimate behavior, okay? And how it plays out in terms of what you are actually doing with your life. All right. Now, to kind of bring this all back together, guys, okay? Regular exercise is absolutely fundamental to foot health. And it has to do with primarily two things. Number one, your circulation, okay? Number two, actually building the muscles, the bone density in your feet and in your legs. Are the only way that you do that is through consistent exercise, okay? The more you exercise, the more your feet, the more your lower body are used to movement, used to basically being challenged, okay? And the better they're going to respond to it. When you combine those two things, all right, amazing things happen. Now, I want to encourage you guys, if you are having trouble getting exercise every day, join us in the GLUCOSEZONE every single day. We have live programming every single day with incredible fitness personalities, and we have a full on-demand library of GLUCOSEZONE workouts designed specifically to offer you exercise solutions for reducing, reversing, and controlling your diabetes. And across the board, guys, this has really been phenomenal. Literally every single person who has joined us in the GLUCOSEZONE and has put the work in has seen nothing short of transformational experiences, okay? We heard from Wowie from the Philippines the other day, doing GLUCOSEZONE for 8 months, lost 65 pounds. My man Salah in Algeria, doing GLUCOSEZONE every day, his A1C dropped below 5, okay? So what I'm talking about, okay, exactly, we had another person come into our GLUCOSEZONE facility. They had a 2-point improvement in their A1C in just 10 GLUCOSEZONE sessions, okay? Just 10 GLUCOSEZONE sessions. So guys, the impulse action, if you are ready for a change, make a commitment right now, okay? And if you want to join us in GLUCOSEZONE, join us in GLUCOSEZONE. If you want to go for a walk, go for a walk. But take action on that positive impulse. All right, last thing, we got a great question from Sue722. And she asked, can we do a session on cholesterol and diabetes? And is it mandatory to have cholesterol medicine if you are diabetic? All right, so, Sue, that is a wonderful question, okay? And yes, we can do a session on cholesterol and diabetes. So let me just explain a little bit, okay, about the correlation. So cholesterol, is important to separate out good cholesterol and bad cholesterol, and also understand triglycerides in the context of diabetes, okay, and in the context of cholesterol levels. So triglycerides, when people have high triglyceride levels, that is the result of the triglycerides in their body not being able to be effectively stored in the appropriate place where they're supposed to be. And you guys have heard me break down the where and how glucose is stored in your body, and I'm not going to do the full explanation right now, but basically glucose, when it's traveling in your blood, if it makes to your adipocyte tissue, it gets converted and stored as a triglyceride in your adipocyte tissue, in your fat cells. If there is no room in your fat cells for the storage of excess triglycerides, that leads to elevated triglycerides in your blood, okay? And one of the most positive effects of daily exercise, one of the most positive effects of working out in GLUCOSEZONE is a lowering of triglyceride levels. Now, to answer your question very specifically, Sue, the answer is no. It is not mandatory to have cholesterol medicine if you are diabetic, to be very, very clear. That is not a mandatory thing. But I'm sure that your doctor has prescribed that for a reason. So that's really the key here, is talking and understanding with your healthcare provider why were you prescribed a certain medication. Was it a preventative thing? So people living with diabetes sometimes are prescribed preventative medication. All right? And you need to talk with your healthcare doctor or healthcare provider about that. Was that prescription for cholesterol medication a preventative thing? Was it for a cholesterol condition that you are dealing with? Really get to the bottom of that, okay? And yes, Sue, we are going to do, that's a great suggestion, we will do a full session on cholesterol and diabetes, because high cholesterol and cholesterol issues is a very, very common comorbidity condition with diabetes. All right, that was a quick 32 minutes, guys. I want to thank you all for your questions. I want to thank you, Sue, in particular, for suggesting that we follow up with cholesterol and diabetes. Guys, it's so helpful to us when we hear from you what are the subjects and topics that you want to hear about. And I want to encourage you guys, join me tomorrow, join me Thursday, do GLUCOSEZONE Live, do GLUCOSEZONE On Demand. I guarantee you, if you're willing to put in the hard work, it'll absolutely transform your life. You guys did a great job, and thank you so much.